Welcome to the Juniper Vale. Today we're going to be looking at Taterhead next week. He also has a trip to China, so we'll see how that goes. I'll probably be using both decks. This I'm going to use, let's see, this is my 88 crystals or 88 miracles deck, whichever you want to call it. With this deck, I'm going to be looking at what's coming up for Trump the next few days before he goes on his trip. So the trip itself is supposed to be May 14th and May 15th. Right now it is May 9th, Saturday, May 9th. It is 9 p.m. exactly Eastern Standard Time for me. So what's Trump's week going to be like for this trip or before he goes on the trip, right? So I think it's going to be important to know what happens to him, what kind of mood he's in, what he has to experience before he even goes on this trip. And then I'm going to use my Endless Tarot for when he is in China, and what's going to happen then. So I'm not going to ask if he does go on the trip, but we'll see what the cards say. I mean, you never know. Something may come up. So I'm going to do, let's see, I think I'm going to pull 6 cards, just pull 6 cards, read through them, pull anything else I need if I feel like I need a little bit more information. So what is Taterhead's week going to be like before he leaves to go to China? So we're looking at the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, around that time. Coming up for him. Mother's Day is on Sunday. There's just tomorrow for me. So happy Mother's Day if you celebrate that. I know in England they celebrate in March, so we're a little behind. All right, one more good shuffle. These cards are still so like stiff. Like they're the first deck I have, but they're still like hard as rock. I hope you guys like my new little intro. I made that myself. All right, so 6 cards. What is Trump's week or few days looking like before he goes to leave for China? We have the Ace of Pentacles, the 9 of Wands, the Tower card, the 9 of Pentacles, the 4 of Wands, and then one more card. The 10 of Pentacles. So what's interesting is that I was watching Linda today, and she also got the Tower card in regard to Trump's week for the China trip. So that's interesting. We have, let's see, we have 2 9s. 9s are like completion cards in numerology. We have a 10 card, which is another completion card. Ace is a beginning card. The 4 of Wands is like the marriage card. So what could this be telling us? This could be telling us a few things here. Pentacles, we usually consider to be money or business or finance. Can also talk about health conditions, though. Don't want to forget that because they can also talk about physical capabilities or even protection. When we're talking about Taterhead, we usually use it to talk about money. But I think it's probably good that we should also remember to talk about health conditions when it comes to him as well. Wands are creativity, drive. They are masculine fire energy, talking about outworld activities. situations that could offer the potential for success. Those are wands. So yeah, we have just wands and pentacles. That's all we have when it comes to the minor arcana. And then we have the tower card. Tower cards you can see here. There's a person falling out. The tower is being struck by lightning. There's a big tidal wave coming. So that's interesting. That's usually like, something's falling apart. There's some sort of disaster happening, whether doesn't have to be physical, it could be economical, it could be relationships, it could be, there's some type of disaster happening. Ace of Pentacles, of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Four of Wands, these aren't like bad cards. These are good cards. The Four of Wands is often considered a marriage card. We have these two little butterflies. They look like they're in some type of setup that kind of looks like a little celebration party. Fours are about that foundation planning. um, Nines talk about compassion, tolerance for differences, and wisdom through experience, and also end of a cycle and wholeness. The tens are that ending and beginning. So at the 10 point, you want to be bringing in a new cycle. You're hoping for the end of rocky times or the beginning of a new adventure. And then aces are like the one card. So that's also talking about beginnings, opportunities, self development, creativity, action. So if we look at all these cards together, what does that mean? So what's very interesting is we have all these really nice cards, and then we have the Tower card. And that's throwing me a little, but it's also very interesting because, how do all these cards tie together for Taterhead in the next like 4 or 5 days, right? Before he goes off to China. What does this mean? There's a beginning or a new, it's almost like a a new opportunity in regards to money or physical capabilities. I mean, he would have to be in good shape in order to take that flight. So that's questionable. And then we have the Nine of Wands. And this Nine of Wands card is, I think, very adorable because of, you have this little child who's making a ladder out of all of those wands and he's on his way up. So this is like good creativity. You're at that point almost of completion of talents, imagination. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. This one we see a bird bringing a pentacle into a nest that's full of other pentacles. So this is like, collecting the fruits of your labor, collecting money. And then the 10 of Pentacles is like the inheritance card. So the pentacles are growing on the tree, right? So you've done everything right to create this inheritance for your family in a way. So this is very interesting. It's not surprising that Trump is thinking about money. So he may feel like either he's got a new plan in his mind, especially when it comes to China, right? Part of the talks with China are on trade. So I'm thinking this is saying that he has a plan. He has a business plan, and he feels like he has the power and the drive to achieve it. When he talks to the president of China, he's already collected a whole bunch of money. Where he's gotten that money, sometimes only he knows, but we kind of have inklings. The Four of Wands is that kind of marriage card, right? The foundation. He feels like he has a solid foundation when it comes to this plan that he's creating that he wants to present to the Chinese president. And maybe he wants to kind of either he's looking into get money that China has created themselves, right? I think he's focusing very much on the trip Like that is his plan. It's all money and action, money and action, money and action, money and action. But then you have this tower card in the middle. So that's what's throwing me. So I feel like something could happen. Is this something that happens to Taterhead? And that's why he's like feeling like, oh, I have to make this deal. I have to make people happy in the sense that not they don't have to be happy, but just in the sense that they feel like he did something good. Right. So I think this is just like him thinking, I got a plan. But I think something before he leaves may happen. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's interesting here. You see it's like a tsunami. Does something happen in China where they have something happen in China where they have a tsunami? Is there a tsunami happening somewhere else? Is this going to affect his trip? I don't know. But he's got money on the mind. He's got money and planning. And that's like all he's really thinking about for the next coming days, which isn't surprising. I would imagine that that's what he would be thinking about, So I feel like he feels very confident. And maybe this tower card is him feeling like he is going to knock down China, right? He is going to bring them to their knees. They're going to probably be talking about trade. I did read in the article they're talking about soybeans. I think also beef, and maybe something to do with aircraft. The U.S. wants China to buy Boeing and U.S. coal, oil, and natural gas. So he's thinking we're going to rake in this money, 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 because he wants China to buy, buy, buy. This tower card is interesting. Is he thinking that that just is him, winning as he usually believes that he is? Or is this more of like a representation of the Iran war? Because I'm sure that's going to be on the mind as well. And I think what he may do to try to get China's favor is he may talk about Taiwan. He may try to say, hey, this is what we did in Iran. You guys should do this to Taiwan. It's your territory. You should take it over. And that might be one of his selling points to try to get them to buy, buy, buy. So I think that's what's happening here. I think this is what he's thinking. Is it going to happen? Uh, we'll see. But this is what he's thinking. This is his plan. So that's what he's working on for the next few days before he leaves. So I wonder if he will actually make it because of his health and that type of. It's very difficult to take a trip like that. Even if he was healthy at his age, it's still a difficult trip. So it's like, it's not even I can't even say, well, he's completely sick, so he shouldn't do it. Because, okay, what if I'm wrong and he's not completely sick? It's still a big trip. All right. So let's assume he goes to China. Let's assume he makes it there May 14th and May 15th. What's going to happen between him and the Chinese president on those days? Will this be a successful trip in Trump's mind? Will Taterhead come out happy and get what he wants? What's going to happen? So this one I'm going to do look at it as a panorama. I will do 6 cards again. And I do like to use the book when I do the panorama because sometimes there's some extra things when it comes to the panorama that you want to pay attention to. Then I don't want to miss those. One more shuffle. So I was reading an article from Reuters about like what's what's the plan possibly for what he's concerned with. So that's where I got like the soybeans, the war, Taiwan, beef, Boeing. So I'll link that article as well in the description so you can also read it. All right. Oh, I said one shuffle, but you know what? I can't help it. Can't help myself. Okay. All right. So what will May 14th and 15th be like for Trump, assuming he goes to China? How will it turn out? We have the 10 of Pentacles again, the Knight of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, the 6 of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. So the first reading we had Pentacles and Wands. So it's like planning and money and business and planning and willpower and strength. Now we have Pentacles and Swords. And swords are difficult situations. So that's the first thing that pops out to me is like, will this go well for him? I don't know. But then we also have an Ace of Cups at the end. So that's interesting. Uh, all right. So we have, let's see, 2 Pentacle cards, 3 Sword cards, 1 Cups. Swords are difficult situations, stress, problems. They can be double sided. And when they're good, it talks about a lot of growth and development of the conscious mind. Um, and then cups are talking about relationships, comfort, intuition, love, romance, things like that. Let's see. We have a 10, we have a 3, we have 2 aces, and we have a 6. So again, the 10 of Pentacles, like we had in the last reading, you see this family coming together, and we see this as like an inheritance card. So there's going to be a lot of money talk, is what this card is telling me. You see these 2 people meeting. This is more like like a family meeting together. But you see they are meeting each other. So it looks like they're going to have a discussion, right? They're going to have a meeting. It's been a while since they've seen each other. I feel like that is kind of like makes sense to um, Taterhead and the president of China coming together because the president, I think the American president, United States president, hasn't been there in quite a while. And then we have the Knight of Swords. So knights are messengers. They are action, 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 action. You see this knight has the sword up. They're ready to go. They want to achieve something, ready to go into battle. So this knight is not looking at these 2. This knight is looking this way. So I'm going to keep that in mind. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles. So here, 3s are about that trinity. They're about communication. They're about optimism, growth, action, right? You want to be careful with a 3 that you don't spread yourself too thin, right? You want to look before you leap when it comes to a 3. This 3 of Pentacles, you see people building. So they are building something. They're on their way to try to build some type of agreement. And I think that is what is happening there, right? So they're meeting. This could be saying that each of them has their own plan, and they're both ready to go, 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 or could be just Trump who's ready to go, 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 right? And there is some talk. There's some talk going on. There's some building of relationships or a plan. Then we see the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords here, again, aces are about that new beginning, new chances, a rebirth. What's interesting about this Ace of Swords is there's no people in it. You just see some birds kind of hanging out. So these people were building, and then it's quiet. And then you have the Six of Swords. This Six of Swords has a boat in it. A lot of times when you see the Six of Swords, there is a boat. It talks about travel. Sixes are the quiet after the craziness of a five. So this person made it to where they needed to go. So is this him returning? Possibly. Returning with swords means returning possibly with bad luck, right? Maybe something wasn't resolved because you have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords makes me think of a new beginning of a new difficult time. Hopefully, this is difficult timing for Trump and not difficult timing for everyone else. And then he's returning after this difficult journey and he's on his way back. But then you have the Ace of Cups, which is kind of like the start of a new relationship in a way. It could be, could be a trade relationship. It could be the start of something. So I'm trying to think of how that Ace of Cups sort of goes in with the rest of it because the swords kind of throw me off. Like if this was like the Ace of Pentacles and this was like the Ace of or Pentacles or of Wands or something like that. I mean, the Six of Pentacles or Wands. Like I would feel like it was fruitful, like or even the cups, right? You would talking about good relationships. But since it's swords and yeah, both of them are swords, that says to me that it's not good. But then you get the Ace of Cups in the end. Let's see. This is water, water. These don't have water. Let me look up some things in the book just I don't want to miss something. Ace of Cups, of course, new affection awakening, shared emotions. Aces are gifts and opportunities. What paths in your larger reading might lead toward the archway on this card? Can you imagine any figures approaching the place on this card? And if so, what will they gain by entering this space? Nearby cards may suggest obstacles that must be overcome in order to claim the Ace of Cups or rewards for having done so. So this one is just next to the Six of Swords, but it looks like that this person has made it through the water to the Ace of Cups. So it looks like a good thing. This one's throwing me a little, y'all. You have any opinions on this? Let me know. Six of Swords are that transition, releasing baggage, and that mental healing, right? Because it's after the craziness of the fives. So we're looking at what other pathways or bodies of water are connected to this card. So that may offer insights as to what baggage is being left behind in the Six of Swords and where this transitional moment has the potential to take you. So the Six of Swords is with the Ace of Cups. We're leaving something behind and we're starting a new relationship. And then, if I wanted to look at the Ace of Swords, we're talking about communication, truths, revelations. So, what paths lead away from it? What paths lead to it? And before it, we have the Three of Pentacles truth, communication, revelation. So, this is interesting because, say, for example, this is about Trump. This could be saying that, his plan works in a way, or he finds out some type of news like difficult news and he comes back thinking a different way, does he learn something while he's there that he doesn't like? That could be a possibility. Or do they come to some sort of conclusion or agreement with each other that everyone else doesn't really like? Possibly. Or does he actually do something and achieve something good? I don't know what that would be, technically, unless he uh, starts to pull back on the whole trade thing, and he because of pressure from from the economy, the issues that they're having because of the Iran war when it comes to like gas prices, and then that causes everything else to go up. Is he going to go there and then come back and say, look what I've done? And maybe he does do something that actually helps us out a little bit. But of course, he's going to act like, that's what he's been doing all along, which he has not. So this is interesting. I don't know. I can't give you an exact like what this means. I feel like this is something that we're going to have to watch out for. It's not giving me anything that I feel could make me I don't feel very strong about anything when it comes to this. So if you have some ideas or if it makes you think of anything, please let me know because I am intrigued. I am intrigued and I want to know what's going to happen. But maybe I'm not allowed to know what's going to happen. At least not yet. Collaboration, contribution, help from others. That is the Three of Pentacles. How it gathers and when to take place. Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. It's like I see two people meeting about money. They both have generational wealth. There is this action behind achieving something, taking care of a difficult situation, maybe even causing a difficult situation. But there's teamwork involved. There's collaboration. There's new beginnings twice, and there's the coming back with leaving something behind. And usually it's kind of like growth associated with this, but perhaps you could also say you're leaving what you wanted behind, like you didn't really achieve what you wanted, you could be leaving that behind as well. So this is a tough one. This is a tough one, y'all. I have to say, what if I pulled one more card? Like, what is the overall conclusion of this meeting between United States and China? And I got the Five of Swords. All right. The Five of Swords is very difficult. You have this person hiding, and he's going to sneak up on the other person that's on the horse. There's no trust here. So that's very interesting. I mean, that feels like it changes. No, it doesn't necessarily change everything I read before, but I think the overall feeling is that there's an untrustworthiness. Um, it's maybe just for show, not it may come back thinking something happens, but in the end, people just don't trust each other. So it maybe because I said earlier that I felt like the Six of Swords, he was coming back, having to leave something behind because he didn't achieve it or he learned something new while he was there. And he looks at something in a completely different way. Maybe he feels like he's being backstabbed. Maybe China feels like they're being backstabbed. They both feel like that. They don't really trust each other. They have this working relationship, but they don't really trust each other. So I think they're going to make some agreements when it comes to trade. Which ones? I'm not sure, but I think there's still just going to be an overall. There's going to be an overall. What is that thing? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I think that's kind of what's going on. So if they do make some sort of deal while they're there, does it last? Because neither one trusts each other. I think the overall feeling is there's no trust, but we're going to make it look like we did something great. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Is there anything else? I have so much fun when I start doing this that I don't want to stop, but I also don't want the videos to go on too long. Um, and remember, I talk kind of slow, so feel free to watch the videos on a faster speed. That's what I do with all my videos and other people's videos, just because I have so many to watch. So I usually speed them up. But I'll stop there. And we'll see what happens. I feel like that I wasn't clear enough on the last reading, so that I feel a little bit disappointed about that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. And please share. I would like to get up to 300 subscribers. That would be nice. That'd be fun. And yeah, so I hope everybody has a good Mother's Day tomorrow if you celebrate. And yeah, in general, just get some sleep. I don't feel like I got much sleep this week. A lot of people I know felt like they didn't get much sleep this week. Maybe it was the full moon, maybe it was the planets moving out of Aries. I don't know. But take care of yourself and let yourself get some sleep. And I'll see you all later.